This video is going to cover section P2 using the graphing calculator. First, we'll graph some functions by plotting points. To graph the linear equation 3x plus y equals 6, we first solve the equation for y. And now we can plug points into the function. So if we plug -1 in for x, we'll get 3 plus 6, which is 9. If you plug 0 in for x, you get 6. And if we plug 1 in for x, we get 3. Plotting those points over on our graph, -1, 9, 0, 6, 1, 3, and then we can draw a line through our graph. And there's our linear function. Graphing quadratics and other functions by plotting points works the same way. Now to graph the quadratic function by plotting points, if we plug -1 in for x squared, we'll get the solution, or y equals -1. To plug 0 into x squared, we get y equals -2. To plug 1 into x squared, we get -1. And for 2, we get 2. Plot those points on our graph. -1, -1, 0, -2, 1, -1, and 2, 2. You can see our parabola forming here. Now for graphing on your calculator. Now to put the function 2y plus x cubed equals 4x into your graphing calculators, you have to have it a function of x. So we'll solve for y. Subtract x cubed on both sides, divided by 2, so we get y equals 2x minus 1/2 x cubed. When you plug that function into your calculator, you should get a graph that looks similar to that. Sometimes when you use your graphing calculator, you find out you need to change the parameters in your window on the graph. Now, some functions, when we graph them, such as this one, 1/10 x to the 4th minus x cubed plus 2x squared, when we graph it in our graphing calculators, we will find we don't always see every part of the graph that we would like to see. So we need to change our windows within the graph. So if you go to your Windows button and change your parameters to x min and max of -8 and 16, and y min and max of 8 and -16, and then you'll see your entire function will show up in your screen. Your graphing calculator will only graph functions. So if you need to graph an equation of a circle, we have to change around how we put the equation into our calculator. Now, to graph an equation such as x squared plus y squared equals 9, we know it's going to be a circular function. But to put it into our calculators, we have to solve for y. But we run into a problem since it's plus or minus the square root of 9 minus x squared. If we try to graph this function, we cannot do it in our graphing calculators because it's not actually a function. It's not going to pass our linear line test. So in order to graph this equation in our calculator, we have to put positive square root of 9 minus x squared into y sub 1 and negative square root of 9 minus x squared into y sub 2. And then our function, or not our function, but our graph is going to look a little more elliptical because of the parameters in our window. So if you change the parameters in your window to y min and max being -6 and 6, and the y min and max being -4 and 4, you'll see your graph will look a little more circular in your calculator screen. Sorry that I kept calling that equation a function in the previous video, but it's late and I'm not going to re-record it. So anyways, with the zoom and trace functions on your calculator, I will review how to do those when we're actually using the calculators during class instead of in a video.